Ready for a deep dive into Valentine's Day flowers? We're going to uncover the history behind those bouquets, especially those iconic red roses. You might be surprised at how much history is packed into a single stem.
It's true. There's a lot more to it than meets the eye. The traditions around flowers are so ingrained in how we celebrate, and the website you found from that Hong Kong florist adds a really interesting angle.
Right. A global perspective on all this. They really go way back in history, too. Did you know the ancient Greeks and Romans connected roses with their goddesses of love? Makes you wonder how long humans have been associating flowers, especially roses, with romance.
Oh, absolutely. And it's a connection that pops up across so many cultures. Those old myths about roses springing from tears or sacrifices really set the stage for how we see the flower today. Deep emotion, right from the start.
It's almost like those ancient stories established the rose as this symbol, and we're still carrying that with us. Then we get to the Victorians, and things get really interesting. Floriography was their thing, taking flower symbolism to a whole new level.
Oh, definitely. Instead of just saying, I love you, they had this whole secret language built on different blooms. And the Victorians were all about decorum and all that. They couldn't exactly be caught dead, openly expressing their emotions, especially romantic ones.
The bouquet wasn't just a gift, it was practically a secret telegram. But did everyone get this floral code, or was it a recipe for disaster?
Well, that's where all those etiquette books came in, right? To make sure everyone was on the same page. But yeah, floriography relied on both the giver and the receiver understanding those hidden meanings.
You'd hate to accidentally declare your undying love when you really just meant to send a friendly hello.
Oh, for sure. That complexity is part of what makes it so fascinating. Makes you realize we rely on context and shared understanding, even for something as simple as flowers.
This website actually credits King Charles II of Sweden with making floriography popular way back in the 18th century. Apparently, he brought the whole concept back from Persia. Who knew a king could be such a trendsetter?
Right. It shows how interconnected the world has always been. Ideas traveled, and traditions like flower giving could take root in different parts of the globe.
It makes you wonder how many other traditions have these wild backstories that we don't even know about. But let's get back to this Hong Kong florist's website. They're not just giving us a history lesson. They also have this practical color guide for bouquets. Because red roses aren't for everyone, right?
Definitely not. That's where understanding the language of color is so important. You've got to find the right bloom to really get your message across.
So let's dive into those color palettes. What other options do we have besides the classic red rose?
Well, for something a little softer, our Hong Kong florist friends suggest starting with pink.
Pink. That makes sense. It feels like a gentler approach maybe for a newer relationship or when you're not quite ready for that passionate red.
Absolutely. It's about admiration and sweetness. Pink is more about expressing those lighter, happier emotions.
So we've got pink for a gentle approach. What about when you want to go in a totally different direction? Are there any colors with unexpected meanings?
White's a great example. It often gets overlooked, but it represents purity and new beginnings, a clean slate. White can be really thoughtful, especially in the right context.
I love that. It's like saying, here's to a fresh start. Perfect for Valentine's Day if you're thinking about new relationships or even, taking things to the next level.
Exactly, for recognizing all the different stages of love, right?
Okay, so we've got pink for sweetness, white for new beginnings. What about when you want to pull out all the stops and go for that grand romantic gesture?
Purple is your color. For elegance, deeper affection, you can't go wrong with purple. It's got that air of mystery and intrigue.
Ooh, purple. Very interesting. Definitely makes a statement.
It suggests you've put some thought into it, like you understand the other person's taste.
Now, I love that this website reminds us that roses aren't the only option for Valentine's Day. They have a whole section on alternative blooms.
And they've really thought it through. It's not just about picking any random flower. It's about understanding the symbolism, what each bloom represents.
It's still about that deeper meaning, even when you're going beyond the traditional rose. Give us the rundown. What are some of their top picks?
Well, you can't go wrong with tulips. They're a classic for a reason. They represent perfect love, which makes them incredibly romantic.
Tulips are so elegant, so graceful.
And they come in such a wide variety of colors. Another opportunity to make it personal.
You could really create a one-of-a-kind bouquet for someone. Okay, what else? What about something really show-stopping?
Hydrangeas, for sure. For a sense of luxury, lasting beauty, and enduring love, it's hard to beat hydrangeas.
They're gorgeous. They make such a statement, especially in a big bouquet.
Perfect for someone who appreciates that little extra touch of extravagance.
Okay, so We've covered extravagance. But what about when you want something cheerful, something playful, maybe for a new relationship, or even just a friend who needs a little pick-me-up?
Gerbera daisies are perfect for that. Bright, cheerful, they're all about pure happiness and joy.
Daisies really are like instant sunshine. It's hard not to smile when you see them.
Exactly. A guaranteed way to brighten someone's day and show you care.
I'm already picturing this incredible bouquet. Daisies, those colorful tulips. Now, the website also mentioned lilies and freesias. What's the story with those?
Lilies are often associated with devotion and purity. They're a classic choice for weddings and anniversaries, but they can also be a really meaningful Valentine's Day gift, especially when you're trying to convey a deep, lasting love.
Yeah, they do have that timeless quality. Very elegant.
And freesias, so delicate and fragrant. They're all about trust and thoughtfulness, a subtle but meaningful choice.
Wow, so many options to choose from. It's amazing how much thought goes into something like a bouquet.
It really shows that even small gestures can mean so much, especially when you put that extra thought into making it meaningful.
So true. And speaking of thoughtfulness, I noticed this website also recommends adding a little something extra to your floral gift.
Absolutely. Little extras can really add that personal touch.
Like chocolates or wine. That's a great idea. Or even a teddy bear, they suggested.
Exactly. Little things like that can really personalize it. It shows you're putting in that extra effort.
And it adds a little something extra to the celebration. Now, before we wrap things up, I wanted to ask about navigating Valentine's Day flowers in a new relationship. That can be tricky, right? You don't want to send the wrong message.
Oh, for sure. It's definitely a balancing act. You want to be romantic, but you also don't want to come on too strong.
Yeah, there's a big difference between a single rose and a dozen long-stemmed ones delivered to the office. Context is everything.
Absolutely. This website actually suggests something like pink roses or tulips when you're still in that early stage.
Makes sense. They feel a bit more lighthearted,
Yeah,
less like a big dramatic gesture.
right. And it's a good reminder about gift giving in general. It's not just about what you like, it's about what the other person would appreciate. What message you're sending with your gift.
So important. Being thoughtful goes a long way.
It really does. Sometimes the best gifts are the ones that show you've really put some thought into the other person's preferences.
Now, speaking of thoughtfulness, this website really seemed to think of everything. They even got into the logistics of it all, like making sure your flowers actually arrive on time.
It's true. They're really on top of it. They emphasized ordering early, especially for Valentine's Day, since it's their busiest time.
Such good advice. Nothing ruins the mood like a last-minute scramble for a bouquet.
And they guarantee delivery for Valentine's Day itself, which is huge. It takes all that stress away.
That peace of mind is worth a lot. Nobody wants to worry about wilted flowers. Well, this deep dive has been fascinating. I never realized how much history and meaning go into choosing Valentine's Day flowers.
It's amazing, isn't it? Even the simplest traditions often have these incredible stories behind them.
It definitely makes you appreciate the thoughtfulness that goes into every bouquet. Any parting words of wisdom for our listeners?
How about this? Think about how this idea of a language of flowers could influence how you give gifts, even beyond Valentine's Day. Could understanding flower symbolism add another layer of meaning, no matter the occasion?
What a great point. It really makes you think about the intention behind every gift, not just the gesture itself.
That's it. It's about finding those small but powerful ways to connect.
Well said. Thank you so much to everyone for joining us for this deep dive into Valentine's Day flowers. We hope you learned something new about those beautiful blooms. Until next time, keep exploring. There's always more to discover.